Alright guys, vlog number 3. As you can tell, this is about beginner reptiles. And as you could tell from last video, I still haven't fixed the static. I hope this video is better. And cut to the chase. Start the vlog now. Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be about best beginner reptiles. So you want a pet reptile, you've never had reptiles before. I could help you, I could point you in the right direction. A lot of people start with ball pythons, which is a snake like this. They don't get too big. They start off small, like this. This isn't a baby, but this is a little bit over a baby. This is an albino ball python. And this is about middle-sized. This will get bigger than this. This is a normal. They're very docile. They're not aggressive. They don't move much really, and they're very easy to eat, to feed. Sometimes in the winter they'll go off feed, and that makes new keepers go crazy. They're like, "Oh my God, my snake's not eating. What do I do?" It's fine. And sometimes in the winter they'll go off. I've been lucky. I never had that happen. And this is a female, this is a male. Another thing, sometimes they're hard to get eating frozen. And new reptile keepers might not like to feed live, so that causes a problem, but it's hard, but not the hardest. And a lot of times you when you buy them, they're already eating frozen. So that's a plus. And they eat mice all the way up to small rats. They don't get much bigger than taking a small rat. See, sometimes they stretch out, but most of the time they just sit, just like that. And those are ball pythons. Very good with children too. If you have kids that you want to expose to reptiles, very good. These two hang out. They look friendly with each other, but you're never supposed to cohab snakes. They shouldn't live together in the same enclosure because that causes problems. In the long run, it'll cause problems. Oh, you saw that? That one's a little bit feisty, but they're not all like that. Alright. And then one that I think is a good beginner snake, but it's never recommended. Not that it's not recommended, nobody really talks about it, is this one. It's a Western hognose. This is a baby. See how small? They don't get big at all. Full grown, they're 2 feet, 2.5 feet, not very big at all. Now, a reason why I would think that these are not recommended as much as other snakes is because they're very picky as babies. Mine didn't eat for almost a month, and then I finally got it to take pinkies. So it's doing good, it's growing. They move a lot, they move around more than a ball python. They don't get big. The only thing that I would have to say about them is they are technically venomous. They're rear-fanged venomous. The venom won't do nothing to humans, but there is always a case that you can have an allergic reaction. But that's rare, doesn't really happen much, and they're very reluctant to bite. Very calm, actually. And they have a cute little nose. So, and then another thing I'd recommend is a leopard gecko. And this is a leopard gecko. Maybe you're afraid of snakes or don't really want a snake yet, and you want a lizard. These are definitely a beginner lizard. They're very easy to take care of, hot and dry. They're from the desert, Middle East, I think, Pakistan, around that area. They like it warm, dry. You feed them crickets daily, every other day. Now, crickets might freak some people out, but they're really not that bad. You could supplement with waxworms, mealworms, calcium powder dusted on the crickets, and just give them a hide, keep them warm and dry, and they're easy. And they obviously, as you can see, tolerate handling well. They're not aggressive, most of them. One thing to look out for though is you have to be careful with the tail. If you pull on their tail, they will drop it. That's a defense mechanism. So in the wild, if a predator gets them by the tail, they won't die. The tail will drop and the lizard can run off safely. And it does grow back. It doesn't always look the same, but it does grow back. So that's a leopard gecko. Also, sorry to backtrack, back about snakes. Another one people recommend are corn snakes. They're in the colubrid family. They get like 5-6 feet, but they're skinny. They move around a lot. A lot of people recommend them. I can't really talk too much on them because I've never had it. That's why I forgot about it, but I should add it. Corn snakes, also another good beginner snake. But yeah, back to lizards. These and bearded dragons are good for beginner. Bearded dragons, same thing, hot, dry, but difference with bearded dragons is their diet is mostly greens, vegetation, supplement with fruits and crickets too, but mostly greens every day. And then for that, it's pretty much it. Now, those are my few beginner reptiles. Obviously, there's many more, but like I mentioned, bearded dragon, ball python, leopard gecko, corn snake, western hognose. Western hognose can be beginner, but a little bit. You could do it as your first snake, definitely. But like I said, sometimes they're hard to eat, hard to get eating, and technically they're venomous, so that might be a deterrent for people. But they're up there. And then there's one reptile that I hate. I don't hate the reptile. I hate how it's put out to be beginner. You can go to the boardwalk and find them. You go to the pet stores, find them for $50. It's a cute little lizard, so people think, oh, it's great, it's nice, it looks cool, I want it. Just a cute little lizard, but they don't know what it turns out to be. You see them at the boardwalk for $12, and people think, oh, I want that. Mom, get me this. No. Worst beginner lizard ever. Well, not the worst, but one of the worst beginner lizards ever. And that is this animal right, the green iguana. These are by far one of the worst beginner reptiles you could buy. Like I said, they start out tiny, not tiny, but they start out like this. You see them on the boardwalk, $12, $20. You see them in pet stores, $50. You think, oh, they're cute, they're small, it'll be nice. They get big. You see how big this one is? It's not even halfway grown. They get big. And mine is nice. Sometimes it's a little flighty, but they don't like to be handled that much. They'll tolerate it, but they like to run, and they have really long nails. They will scratch you. I get scratched up all the time. Not that they want to hurt you, but their nails are just long for climbing, so they end up indirectly hurting you. But this is what they turn out to. That little cute green lizard that you see on the boardwalk or in the pet store, this is what it turns out to. Plus, I will do a separate video on the care of these guys for people who know what they're getting into and really want it. But you see, he's just scratching me all up. I will do a care video on these guys for people who know what they're getting into and definitely want one. But that's another time. We're one of the worst beginner lizards you can possibly get. And it might be the worst due to the fact that it's readily available. There's obviously worse choices, but they're not readily available. You can't just go to any pet store and find them. But these guys you can. And just don't do it unless you know what you're getting into and you're ready for that. This is Kesha. My girlfriend named her Kesha. So anyway, that's the video. I touched up, obviously, like I said before, not all of the beginner reptiles are talked about in this video, but the ones that I have and can speak about, I talked about. Ball python doesn't get too big, is still a python for people who want a python, will take live food eventually, will take frozen eventually, sometimes a little hard, and western hognoses don't get too big, hard to get eating at first, but once they get eating, they're pretty good. Leopard geckos, very solid. Bearded dragons, solid. Iguanas, no iguanas. So that's pretty much the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you liked, like that button, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, I've been forgetting to tell you guys I have an Instagram, Snakes and Things. SNAKESNTHINGS on Instagram. Give me a follow. I'll follow some of you back. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Hopefully. Alright, well, enjoy this video of me starting a video and then realizing that I was not ready. I guess we'll call it a blooper. It's pretty funny. My face just goes expressionless. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is the static is still there, and I have no clue why, but I will not be making another video until the static is gone.